Not before time would say the majority of this crowd. The Newcastle 7, he needs a big game tonight, and he'll be an automatic selection into the Australian side tomorrow night to play, or on Sunday night to play New Zealand in Wellington next Friday. Ben Kennedy was in some doubt. As you can see, he's in the team, and here are the cards.
At fullback for Newcastle, Robbie O'Davis returns. Albert and McDougall, the wingers. Gidley and Hughes, the centres. Rudder at 5'8". Andrew Johns, 10 weeks on the sideline. He's at half and captains the team. Peden locks the scrum. Simpson, Kennedy, the second rowers. A front row of Grief, Badiris and Parsons. On the bench, Marquardt, Bailey, O'Brien, Perry, coached by Michael Hagan.
And the Brisbane side lines up this way. Locke is the fullback and captain. Takiri Sailor on the wings. Chris Walker and Michael DeVere in the centres. Harrison goes from lock forward to 5'8". Scott Prince, the halfback. Carl Webb comes off the bench into the lock forward spot. Myers and Carlo are the back rowers. Webke, Sivanasiva and Prentice the front row. Interchange of Stuart Kelly, Hodges, Parker and Corvo, coached by the all-conquering Queensland coach in Wayne Bennett.
It is a bitterly cold night in Newcastle, and Andrew Voss has got the job on the sideline. Good evening, Andrew.
Yeah, good evening, Ray. And the temperature 10 degrees and falling fast. There's not the 50,000 crowd of ANZ last Sunday night, but I think we can still call this State of Origin 4. The expectation of the Knights fans here about Andrew John's return, rivalling the Maroons with Alan Langer's comeback.
Andrew, thank you for that. And Paul Simpkins seemingly has been elevated to the #1 referee for tonight's game. Brisbane running from right to left. Bill Harrigan apparently doing that 10,000th match of rugby league tomorrow at Wynn Stadium. And Darren Lockyer is going to start in front of a crowd that contains Newcastle's 3 million spectator. That person went through the gates here tonight. As Grief is tackled on the first play, just inside his own 20-metre line. This is Peden. I remember in round 1, the Newcastle forwards, the front row forwards, Grief and O'Brien, I think they were on that night. They really weren't with us after about 5 minutes. Grief pulled a hamstring. And O'Brien was heavily concussed as Ben Kennedy makes inroads. Now for Andrew Johns, and his first touch finds him plugging this kick down to the 20-metre line, where one of the stars, Lottie Takiri, brings it back. Is Carlaw. Down on his back. I don't think there was any question about the legalities of the tackle. Now Webke.
Ray, you mentioned 10 State of Origin players backing up for the Broncos. They haven't fared that well this year after Origin games. Beaten by Parramatta. And a draw with Canberra after coming from the death in that match.
Carl Webb doing what he does so well. Now Lockyer. Oh, Lockyer has been put down by Simpson. I don't think Simpson could have pulled out of it. Now O'Davis.
No, he copped one from Simpson. It looked to me like he copped a forearm or an elbow. Albert gets crunched by Takiri.
This was the tackle by Simpson, the second rower.
It was actually his shoulder. He went in hard with his shoulder.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Here's Johns. Now Rudder. Rudder brushes away. Newcastle in support. O'Davis. Rob O'Davis. He's in to score. The big crowd loving it. Newcastle first blood after 3 minutes.
And already, it's been a long time coming, but Joey Johns is back. Is he what? His second touch of the football tonight. And look at him, right foot step, he takes them on, no Shepherd there, a good ball to Rudder. Rudder straight through the middle, and then O'Davis backing up his first touch for the night. So the two boys who are making their comebacks involved in their first try. Look at the footwork of Johns. It's beautiful stuff.
They didn't react very well, the Brisbane side. On the other side of the field, you'll see Carl Webb a little bit slow in coming across. Didn't realise the play was going to come back his way. If he had have stepped a metre or two, there would not have been that hole for Rudder. And Rob O'Davis said many times that they are a better team with O'Davis at fullback. He just adds so much more.
So there's the kick for conversion. It is successful. Newcastle 6, Brisbane no score, just 4 minutes gone. Just the start that Newcastle wanted. And the old combination of Johns and O'Davis to the fore. Peden. A replay of the opening of the game, really, those two forwards. Taking it back to back, and now Parsons. He's out to his own 30-metre line. Badeiras away from dummy half and allowed to run quite freely for 10 metres before being driven down by Myers and Harrison. Johns with the kick, and it'll find the line.
Well, this is interesting as to whether Johns was inside the 40. Robbie O'Davis believes that he was.
Yeah, and the referee does too. Already given the feed to Newcastle.
Yep.
In by a metre.
And in by a metre at the other end. Oh, a huge kick there. This is one of the banners we saw before the game. Fair rap.
So the Knights. The coins are coming up their way at the moment. Simpson hit Lockyer with a heavy tackle earlier. Parsons, Rudder's with it. Ball and all tackle required, and it was forthcoming from Walker. Badeiras again. O'Davis knocks on. Scrum will go down 10 metres out from the Broncos line, centre of the ground.
And they needed this, the Broncos. Hasn't been a great start for them. Everything's gone the Knights' way, and just a bit shaky in defence there. Couple of misses. Taking a while for them to warm up. Of course, they had that very hard game only 5 nights ago.
Sailor. Significantly after Origin 1, they drew with Canberra. The Broncos, 26 all. And following Origin 2, they were beaten by Parramatta, 28-12. So there's reason to think they've come out of those matches below their best. Webb will play it on the 30-metre line, just beyond, in fact.
Paul, a bit of a surprise. Harrison to 5'8". Kelly was hurt playing for Toowoomba in recent weeks, but has gone to the bench. What do you read into that move?
Well, Stuart Kelly's a pretty good player, but he hasn't played much first grade this year, and if there's something suspect about his game, it's his defence. I think Ashley Harron's a very good defender, Harrison, and he's there for that reason.
Lockyer's bomb. Back with O'Davis. Jinking run, carries him 22 metres out from his own line. Simpson using blindside for Gidley. And Matthew will play the ball just outside the 30-metre line. Penalty against the Broncos, against the marker, the front marker.
Well, I thought Chris Walker was a little bit lucky not to be penalised for the same infringement down close to his line in the last attacking raid by the Knights. Trying to slow the ball down. They've been a real bogey team, the Brisbane side, for Newcastle. They've played 19 times, 15 wins for the Brisbane team, but they have won only one of their last 5 at this ground.
Parsons up to the 30-metre line. We'll take you from, there's the head-to-heads at Marathon. We'll take you from Marathon to Wimbledon after this. Grief. They're setting it up again, the Knights. Johns. Taken down by Webke and Carlaw. 12 away for Rudder. Runs towards Kennedy. Picks up McDougall. McDougall comes across. Gidley. Away for Albert. Albert's over. It's a Newcastle try. Their second of the night. Beautifully done. McDougall was a key factor.
And great to see Adam McDougall getting involved. He's lacked involvement in recent weeks from mine. He comes back, a nice ball from Sean Rudder. Changes the point of attack. And as he comes across again, Brisbane haven't reacted well on the other side of the ruck. He comes, as we come to the right, we freeze it there. Just have a look at this man coming in off his wing, allowing the winger on the outside. There's Darren Albert. Play continues. It gets on the outside of Takiri. Too much speed. Wonderful to see two wingers involved in the one movement.
Yeah, nice set play, that one. Those sort of set plays, normally you're looking for a hole up the middle. When that didn't happen, McDougall just kept drifting across the field. The Brisbane defence had been slow. It hadn't moved up at all, and they found some space there. And Darren Albert's a very good finisher. He doesn't need much room to move. There was just enough there for him.
1997 grand final hero, Darren Albert. This without Tamana Tahu, Newcastle's best backline. Johns, who still leads the Dally M's even after a 10-week absence. From the touchline, 21 out. He may have hooked it a bit too much. It is wide. The scoreboard, Newcastle 10, Brisbane nothing. 10 minutes gone. Sends it down for the kick return from Peden. 10-0 in favour of the Knights. 2 tries. As Parsons ambles up to them and then takes it ahead. Davis quick hands. Kennedy responds. Kennedy away. Hughes is tackled. Taken down by De Vere. Now Davis. Davis, they'll penalise Myers if he continues with the tackle. Grief.
Well, that's outstanding work from Newcastle. In 4 tackles from the restart, they've come to the 50-metre line. Just takes so much pressure off Hughes.
Here's the kick for McDougall. The bounce for McDougall. Badiris on the fingertips. Couldn't get control of it. And a 6-pointer has gone begging.
Can you believe it? A lovely little chip kick down the blind side. McDougall, watch this, hits and spins, finds support straight away. Badiris, he's just got to take that, he's under the posts and drops it. What a lead that would have been, 16-0. What a great start for the Knights. Bad luck, Danny Badiris.
He'll be very disappointed, Danny. I think it's a ball that he'll believe he should have caught. He probably did catch it about 3 times, but dropped it 4.
That was a big tackle by Peden. He got help from Simpson, but you could see the impact on the body of Webke. Penalty Brisbane. Coming up out of the tackle, holding onto the player's ankle. Won the penalties. Paul Simpkins in charge of the match. Video referee is Ian Parnaby. And 10-0 in favour of the Knights. They got away to a good start from memory at ANZ before injuries upset their plans. This is Myers. Priddis then. Lockyer. Carlaw. I don't argue from Carlaw. Gets it away for Takiri. Takiri for the line. Takiri loses the ball.
Oh, yes, and desperation defence there for the Knights. Right in the corner, saved the try. It was a barnstorming run from Dane Carlaw. Watch him go. Bangs Gidley out of the way. See you later, champ. Gets to O'Davis, knocks him for 6. Then Takiri. There's a miss there, and then Albert and Peden comes over.
Well, it's just as well Darren Albert did come back, because he came up with a very poor mistake in defence, rushing up on Chris Walker. That would have been quite a turnaround, wouldn't it? We saw Badiris drop the ball only moments ago. That would have been 6, almost conceded 4 there. Albert gets out of dummy half.
Badiris, Kennedy. He pulled out of training yesterday. He couldn't complete the session with a hip injury. Johns, end on end, sitting up. Takiri's with it. Defence is there. Lockyer's with it. Badiris is beaten. Newcastle make the tackle on Lockyer, and they let him know that they're up there in numbers. Saylor. Heavy work on Saylor. Johns was the 3rd player in. Saylor's played the ball. Well, thought the play the ball went forward. It did. He's ruled play on. Maybe he believes he made an attempt to play it back. Myers. Centre of the ground, 40 metres out. Broncos in. Kicker is Lockyer. Big kick. Down to O'Davis. Beautifully placed. O'Davis sprints out to the 30-metre line. Beating one. Standing in a second. Picking up Mad Dog McDougall. McDougall out of one. Bumps away from another. Takes it over the Broncos. Into Broncos territory. Great run by McDougall on the back of O'Davis. Now Rudder. Correction, it's Grief. O'Davis for Parsons. Says play on. Rudder. Cut out ball on Johns, finding Gidley. Inside for Johns. Johns is over. Andrew Johns is over. Well, maybe he is at Marathon, the great man. Maybe God has come to Marathon.
And it's been a full-on Andrew Johns. He hasn't paced himself in the first 15. A wonderful run by Adam McDougall. And there's no doubt that the New South Wales winger has come here with an intention tonight to get the football on as many occasions as he possibly can. Set it up. A good run from Matt Parsons next up. And then Matt Gidley doing what he does best. Putting the move on his opposing player. Steps inside Walker, gets the right arm free, finds Johns on the inside. Had a bit to do, Andrew Johns, straight around Darren Lockyer and gets their third.
Yeah, it's too good. The Brisbane Broncos don't know what's hit them here at Marathon in the opening 15 minutes. It's a Newcastle barrage. Poor attempt at tackle there by Chris Walker. And then Andrew Johns back on the inside. Great ball from Gidley. He stepped through Darren Lockyer. Yeah, the big fella's here, all right. Don't worry about that.
You reckon the confidence isn't overflowing here with Johns and O'Davis? But I think some of the purists would have been aggravated by the put down of the ball in their respective tries. Now Johns 8 metres in. I think he's got it. Yes! It's there for another 2. Bossy.
Oh, is it Alfie Johns or Andrew Johns? Just what about his return? His first 15 minutes of football tonight against one of the best teams in the competition, having not played for 10 weeks. He's running the 40-20, the try to score. Look, Andrew Johns, this Newcastle side had only scored 1 try in their last 3 halves of football. And tonight, with the inspiration of that number 7 there, they've come up with 3 in 15 minutes.
Grief. Taking it back to them. First receiver, Peden, hit hard by Webcke.
And this has really been where Newcastle have been so impressive, coming out off their own line. Here's Matt Parsons, who's been wonderful as well in the first 17 minutes, picking up 8 or 9 tough metres. They've made no mistakes at this end. They've been able to get a good kick away as Maderas.
It'll be play on. It is play on. Peden finds McDougall. McDougall runs away from Sailor. Came in field for Kennedy. Back for Rudder. Rudder for McDougall. They've isolated Sailor. And away it goes to Hughes. Back on the inside. Rudder. Rudder's over. This is fantastic. This is unbelievable. This is Newcastle. This is the team beaten 40 Blot the other day.
Well, they're playing some entertaining football, aren't they? Danny Maderas, he gets away through the line, beats Myers. Now, the pass didn't find the mark, but it came off a Brisbane player. No knock on. And Billy Peden finds Adam McDougall. Now, McDougall comes in field, and he'll feature very prominently now. At the play the ball, he frees it there. You can see they're going to come up against Wendell Sailor. 2 players as play continues. On 1, Adam McDougall inside, a doubt on the pass for mine, but not so this one from Mark Hughes. A beautiful ball to Rudder, and he takes it around.
Well, I mean, everyone's in shock here. They're loving it, the crowd, but They haven't played this well for a couple of years, let me tell you, the Newcastle side. This is the best opening 20 minutes by any team I've seen in a long, long time. The Broncos don't know what's hit them. The Newcastle boys are loving it. They are playing high on confidence. The balls are sticking.
So Johns, from close proximity, converts. What a commencement. 22-0. And needless to say, there is no smile on the coach of the Brisbane Broncos. Face their Wayne Bennett. Andrew?
Well, that man on screen, Sterlo, said Adam McDougall looking to get involved at every opportunity. He knows that 3 and a 2-1 go when that test side's announced tomorrow night. It's going to be McDougall and Saylor or Takiri, the 2 and a 3 or 3 and a 2 as far as the Australian wingers are concerned. McDougall's making a great claim to retain his spot in the side.
One, stand up. Hands off him. Stand.
Grief. Billy Peden, the lock forward, is playing the ball back at his own 20-metre line. And now Matt Parsons rumbles it up to the 30-metre line. So Badeiras uses the blind side for Grief, who can't get enough of it. Might not be in possession down the other end, but he's done a power of work coming off his own line. Now to Keary, one-on-one with Albert. Albert makes the tackle.
Now the Newcastle Knights have got to realise that their opposition is going to get some quality balls shortly. They've had no football in the first 20 minutes. When they did get some ball, Takiri almost scored in the corner. They've got to realise that it's about to turn, and defensively they've got to come up to the mark.
Sivanasiva. Now Myers. Parsons taking the defence up with him. Peden. Now for Lockyer. Lockyer's kick is a high one. Down for O'Davis, who was shaky under the high ball the last time we saw him here. I think it was against Brad Fittler's Sydney Roosters. Not so on that occasion. Darren Albert. That was the take. It was high. Coming down out of the night skies over Marathon with a crowd of, I would imagine, in excess of 20,000.
Mark Calvo on in 17 for Brisbane. Sivanasiva. Johns out of dummy half, scheming his way. Gidley again looking to beat his centre. This time Walker, the assistance of Takiri, makes the tackle. 40 out from their line.
Now Albert. Out in front of Johns, it's with Parsons now. And Big Matthew is obliged to kick. Nothing wrong with it either. Simpson goes down to put the defence onto Lockyer. It's an awkward-looking tackle for Lockyer, but he's okay. De Vere. Saylor. There's the points table coming into tonight. Broncos second behind Parramatta and Newcastle, in the absence of Johns, slipping down to rung number 5. Now Lockyer. Long ball for Takiri. And Newcastle surge in, but none of them put the ball to sleep. Now they lose the ball. Kennedy comes up with it. That's Bill Peden. Peden dummies. He steps. Peden will play it 12 metres away from the Broncos line to Rudder. Now Johns. Johns throws it wide. Gidley is with the ball. Gidley taken to ground in a smother tackle.
Hold.
And Gidley unable to play the ball just for the moment. They go infield for Simpson.
Gidley, of course, broke his leg before the season started. Concern as O'Davis, first receiver again, wide to Rudder.
Rudder flying high. Peden inside for Mark Hughes. Hughes grounded a metre from the line. Rudder, O'Davis, Johns knocked down. Running it away is big Carlaw. Carlaw is into space. O'Davis picks him up in a twinkling.
Yeah, great football. Firstly by Carlaw, sprinting 40 metres. For a big fella, it was a great effort. And the tackle by O'Davis was copybook.
De Vere again. Kelly is on in 6. Saylor gets rid of Kennedy. Michael De Vere, one of the forgotten New South Wales players from State of Origin 1. Oh, Scott Prince underneath Kennedy and Simpson. Lockyer. His kick coming off a Newcastle player who didn't play at the ball. Played by Webke. Then Priddis. Now we're with Harrison. He plays it inside the 20-metre line. Priddis knocked on by Walker down the blind side. (22-0) to score. This was the tackle on the number 7. Simpson took him. Kennedy squashed him over the top. Off their own 20-metre line they come. Through one of the try scorers. There's the interchange. Newcastle 2, Brisbane 3. Clinton O'Brien. O'Davis and Bailey. Or Perry it is. Josh Perry. Bailey is in 16 when he comes on. Simpson. Dragging along the ground Harrison. Played back for Badeiras. Allowed to run almost at will. And Badeiras is put out 20 metres away on tackle 5. John to the air now. A variation. McDougall and Saylor. Saylor will bring it out to the 20-metre line. (22 points to 0) in an amazing start for Newcastle.
Right, during one of their last matches, they have lost 4 in a row, Newcastle. I said that Andrew Johns would not fix everything coming back into the side, but the one thing that he has done is put them in a composed state. It's Chris Walker on the outside of Albert. Two speedsters.
Walker getting it back inside before he went into touch. And Newcastle come up with it. A real foot race between Walker and Albert. O'Brien. 2 of the speed men. 2 of the fastest in the game. Kennedy.
Just saying, Ray, that Andrew Johns, he adds composure. They're organised. Everyone knows where they should be going. The kicking game is on song.
And he adds leadership and inspiration as well, Pete.
Now what are they working at? Just a couple of dummy half runs up to tackle 5. And now Johns puts a kick purposefully into touch. Slowing it down. So Brisbane confronted with coming off the line again as Johns takes in some liquid. The championships live, the men's semis coming up after the footy.
Wishing the team and the thousands of fans every success for this season. Who's got the energy? Energy, Australia.
12.5 minutes of the first half to go.
Right. Ball in.
Fed by Prince. And it's with Takiri. Now it's with Kelly. He did, I almost called intercept. And McDougall reckons he's got the ball. Now he's penalised him. McDougall refused to concede the argument. Now that kick is a good one, finding touch about 38 metres away from the Newcastle line. Myers. What a game he had last Sunday. But there can be no doubt as he is having trouble playing the ball. Brad Myers. Prince back for the number 14. It's Corey Parker. Now for Lockyer. Second man play for Kelly. And Kelly is held. No, he wants to pass. Just a little question mark on whether the pass was forward. It's out to Prince. He turns Hughes inside out. He flick passes for De Vere, then for Corvo, and Corvo taken down by Kennedy and Badiris. From Priddis to Prince. Prince to Harrison. Harrison met. Playing the ball 5 metres out from the Newcastle line. Brisbane looking for their first points. It came off a Newcastle player who didn't play at the ball. That's the ruling, and Albert plays it.
Well, these haven't got it tonight, Brisbane, have they? Their timing's out and everything they're doing in defence. They're about a quarter of a metre behind everything the Knights are doing. They're not adjusting and reacting to whatever the Knights do.
101 tackles for the Broncos, 76 for Newcastle. Yes, Paul.
Well, I mean, they've got to score before half-time, just to give themselves some confidence heading into the second half.
Peden. John. That one bouncing up favourably for Sailor.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if they are the tactics, as we see Paul Marquardt also coming onto the game. We've seen Parramatta have success with putting the ball into touch and getting into set play situations, but that was just a gift to Wendell Sailor as Brisbane bring the ball inside Newcastle's half.
Corvo. Just outside the Newcastle 40-metre line. Priddis, Prince, Harrison, Corvo. Plenty of passing. No progress. Parker. Priddis decides to go himself in the direction they must go. And they made 7 or 8 metres with no passing that time. Lockyer just getting his kick in. O'Davis equal to it. That is Bailey now.
Darren Albert just claiming there that Rob O'Davis was tackled mid-air when he caught the football. The referee called play on as Mark Hughes gets out of dummy half.
Here's the incident, Peter.
Well, it's a thin line, isn't it, whether he's competing for the football or making a tackle.
Marquardt. O'Davis. Johns. That kick again is going straight to Wendell Sailor. Long ball, asking Lockyer to take it back. Long pass to Walker on the opposite side of the field to where Sailor first took it. Bradley Myers, there's great concern about him. Chakiri. Priddis, Webke. Halfway line. Now, well, that obviously, according to the referee, has travelled forward. We will take a break and be back in a moment. 22-0 Newcastle lead Brisbane. Welcome you back. 22-0. It's all good news for Newcastle. There's not too many bright spots on the horizon for Brisbane as Brad Myers leaves the field, goes up the tunnel.
Back it away, Knights.
Will he be back? Will he be available for Australian selection on Sunday night? Just 2 of the questions at the moment surrounding a youngster who's had a meteoric rise. Played by Rudder, back to O'Davis. O'Davis for Bailey. And Bailey will play the ball 32 metres out from the Brisbane line. Now O'Brien. And a one-hander back for O'Davis. O'Davis, then it's back. It's with Johns. Johns to the 10-metre line. Are they going to be the next to score? Rudder, he's picked up one, he looks for 2. The line is there. Bailey. Bad pass. Johns. Grubber kicks. Newcastle slow to react. Lockyer passes in the in goal. Over to Sailor. The big man calls on all his strength and he gets it back. Or does he?
I think he's back in the field of play, and it is an enormous effort from Wendell Sailor if that is the case.
He lost the ball.
Saying he's lost the ball.
Lost ball. He lost ball.
Yeah, it was a great effort, that's for sure. Nice kick from Joey Johns, gets a deflection. Good ball from Lockyer, wasn't it? Gutsy stuff behind your own line. There's about 8 Newcastle players get involved here in this tackle. And he's struggling, and well, it looked like a strip for mine.
Oh, it's a definite strip.
And the touch judge said, no, he dropped it. He's a half a metre away.
That is a cruel ruling on Brisbane. Now Rudder. Gidley beats them. Gets it inside for Albert. Albert for the line. Forced down 2 metres out. Buderus. O'Brien. Buderus again. He's in his own personal battle with Priddis tonight. Now it's Ben Kennedy. Round the corner pass for Marquette. And the line again beckoning. Johns. Long ball, Rudder. Cuts out Bailey. Goes to Gidley. Gidley beats Walker again, does he? And it goes into touch. In fairness to Walker, he forced the pass.
Well, Priddis might be having a battle with Buderus, so too that man Gidley with Chris Walker. Novo Castrian in front at the moment. The reason that Robbo Davis is so important to this team is that he can do a similar job to Darren Lockyer. He can play a second 5'8". He can come up and be a first receiver. This is the strip. There's no doubt in the world it should have been a Brisbane penalty. 4 in the tackle, and they rip the ball out. It ends up with McDougall. Hard to see how the touchy missed it.
Mark him up. Step up. Ball back, Mark.
So half-time, 4 minutes away.
2 and again, stand up.
And the Broncos scoreless behind Newcastle's 22 points. Sailor, buffeting run, rolling over the top of Perry.
Yeah, see you followed him in from the wing. McDougall followed him all the way, and he's given away a tackle. The boys, look at him go.
Now, walk away. Adam, walk away. Walk away. Walk away.
Wendell better be careful here because he has got the penalty already. All he's doing is jeopardising that.
Look, neither of those players had great State of Origin series, but they know tonight there's an Australian test spot on the line.
It's good fun, isn't it?
Listen. We went on with it on the ground. That's why the penalty's gone, right? He's resented. I'll have a word with him about that. Okay? No more. Leave him alone. Wendell.
Is this nearly a Falcon? You see here, as Paul pointed out, McDougall coming rushing from his far side. Here he comes now. Puts the shoulder in. Unfortunately for his side, he carries on with it.
All you'll lose from there is that you'll spend time on the sideline, all right? There'll be no more cautions. That's where you'll go, okay?
So the Broncos get a little sniff of the try line. Oh, Corvo on the end of a perler from O'Brien. Priddis. Webke. Tremendous run by the number 1 prop. Now Priddis. They try to build on it. Harrison. Priddis again. Lockout. One-handed take. Newcastle up in his face. Priddis. Prince. I wish they'd separate. 5th tackle for Scott Prince. Priddis. Lockyer. Back for Walker. Or is it Parker?
Oh, great defence. Whoever it is, they've been deluged on the last. Michael Hagan has come up with a very smart defensive play tonight. He's playing Danny Buderus wide out with Andrew Johns. And he's rushing up and putting pressure on Darren Lockyer, taking time away. It's worked effectively so far.
McDougall starting to arouse the emotions of the opponents. O'Brien to the halfway line. Sensational first half for Newcastle. Johns with a pass for Gidley to kick, and Brisbane have to clean up. And that's good work by Carlaw. Now it's Takiri. Back on their own 20-metre line. Prince. They spread quickly to Kelly. Grassing tackle by Mark Hughes. Michael De Vere. Sail up. Where's McDougall? Here he comes. Well, he was airborne.
He had a cape on. He flew in.
Prince. Lockyer. Takiri. He kicks. Cleaned up by Gidley. No, he didn't. Rake the ball back for O'Davis.
Yep.
Here's McDougall.
There's McDougall. Oh, that's a great battle. Great battle. And Robbie O'Davis saved the day. A tap back by Gidley, which was a bit dusty, but he was there to take it.
Kennedy.
I reckon at half-time, McDougall will follow Wendell to the sheds.
Johns. O'Davis. They're just idling to half-time now, Newcastle. I think a little bit of the lack of match play for both Andrew and Robbie is starting to tell. Lockyer. Now De Vere. 10 seconds to the break. Pritis takes the tackle of Kennedy and O'Brien. Sailor wants one more go, but he's not going to get it. It is half-time. It is 22-0 Newcastle. And let's hope that you come back bigger and better than ever. Webke. 22-0 then. With the former premiership favourites, Brisbane, on the receiving end of a white-hot performance from Newcastle. 5 changes for Newcastle, 4 for Brisbane. Harrison in a dummy half. And this is Parker. Another of the shaven brigade. Prince. A kick. Pretty negative, really. It went straight to McDougall. And McDougall is put down 35 metres away from his own line. O'Davis over for Johns. Johns, rather than take any risk with ball movement, takes the tackle. Paul Marquardt. The championships will follow this from Wimbledon. We'll go live there. Go Patrick. Kennedy. Hughes. And a grassing tackle by De Vere. Kennedy. Rudder. Johns. It's a wide kick over towards Albert. He's won the jump, Albert. Got the ball away. Marquardt gets it back on the inside. And a chance for Newcastle. That is turnover. Takiri.
Yeah, whilst this battle on this side of the field with McDougall and Sailor has been an intriguing one. That one hasn't been too bad either, between Albert and Takiri. And there's a chance there, just back on the inside. They ran out of troops, plenty of defence got there.
Penalty was for holding down, for failing to allow Brisbane to play the ball. It was the turnover. Scott Prince Cuts out Parker, goes to Lockyer. Second man play to Kelly. Kelly away to De Vere. And De Vere, oh, gee. That really hit him. It looked to hurt him, too. Saylor. In goes McDougall, third man in. And McDougall just hangs in there a little while. Saylor says something to him. Lockyer's with the ball. Now it's away from Carlaw for Prince. Prince back for Webke. Big man on small man. Badeiras makes the tackle. Curtis. Dummies open, goes blind. Carlaw. Fifth tackle now for the Bronx. Lockyer. Looking for Saylor. And well, Hughes has moved across the park. Planted himself in Saylor's way.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Ray. Could have nearly been a penalty for mine. As Clinton O'Brien offloads, they go on through Ben Kennedy's had a big game in both. On a swinging arm over the top from Webke. Didn't bother him.
Kennedy gets up, takes a quizzical look at the referee. This was the tackle. Not over yet. Watch that. Bang. Penalty goes Newcastle now for something totally removed from that incident. Kennedy in back play, receiving some help from a trainer. Johns, Perry, running at Parker. And in 17, Corvo. O'Brien, who's done well in the offload department. Now Marquardt. They're only 15 out from the line. Rudder, Johns. Goes to Hughes. Now for McDougall. McDougall! Oh, just a metre from the line. Forced down. Now it's a penalty, Brisbane.
On the ground. Bring it up with you.
Well, this is... goes against Adam McDougall for putting the ball on the ground before he gets up to play it. Let's just have a look. He goes oh so close to scoring himself after shrugging off a couple of defenders. In his attempt to play the ball quickly, does he plant the ball too early? No, he doesn't. He's attempted to get to his feet. The penalty has gone the wrong way.
Yeah, that should have been a penalty to the Knights and maybe a player in the bin. Professional foul.
Prince. Lockyer. Harrison running off his hip. Then Kelly with neat ball movement. Saylor. Lockyer. Darren. Put down hard. Badeiras the tackler. Prince. Corvo. Prittis.
It's a brave game again from Darren Lockyer, isn't it? He was in doubt all week coming into this one. He still looks the most dangerous, although Prince straight through, tackled from behind by Albert.
15 from the line. They go the blind. That is Carlaw. To Kewell. Prince. Lockyer's kick. Might be too heavy. It is.
Two points and the official carriers of the Newcastle Knights. Don't forget 2 points will be tumbling to Toyota Park for the round 22.
Just too much weight on it. Lockyer's head and face goes down. Andrew back from the sheds. Yes, Andrew.
We'll raise some very important news for Newcastle. Matthew Gidley, their centre, will not be back tonight. It is about a concussion. He was also complaining about a bit of a neck injury, so Matt Gidley will not be back tonight. Julian Bailey in the centres for the remainder of the match. Michael Hagan's message at half-time pretty obvious. The job is only half done. We've got to keep playing football against this team. And defence, we have to concentrate and really work overtime. Wayne Bennett, he still thought the Broncos were in the match, pointing out the Knights hadn't scored since the 19th minute and we've created some chances. So let's keep playing football, not worried about the scoreboard. And Brad Myers, a broken nose in the first half, but he should be back in this second period.
This will be a scrum feed as a result of what you're watching.
Yeah, pass there from Peden that really didn't have to be thrown. It was well marked. The outside man in Hughes.
I'm sure that Wayne Bennett at half-time told his side as well that Newcastle, on average this year, have not been that good in the second half. They've conceded 69 tries throughout the season. 43 of those have come in the second 40 minutes. Now, they do appear more vulnerable in the second half. And Brisbane are one side who can score quick points.
Takiri. Prince. Parker. A trifecta. Corvo. Webke's with him. Takes it on himself. 30-metre line. The dummy half. Now Prince. Lays it down for Parker. Not by manufacture. Now they come to the right for Harrison. McDougall turned around and it'll beat them to the dead ball line. All time-consuming.
The ISC club has declared the conclusion of tonight's first grade game. All supporters are
Almost 9 minutes of the second stanza gone. Next Friday night, Nine's Friday night football will be the test match, the one offer between the Kiwis and the Kangaroos from Wellington. And that is shaping as one heck of a test match. Long time since I can remember them going into a test match probably thinking they might be the favourite.
Speaking to Gary Freeman a week ago, Ray, he was very excited about the young players that he was able to blood against France who did so well. They've got a wonderful nucleus of experienced players, but some exciting men coming on the scene as well. Newcastle, 40 out. Badiris throws the dummy. Gain meters up the middle. Still going.
Lifting the legs high out of a tackle. Johns is with it. In traffic. Then floating it out. Bailey beats Walker. Takiri takes him. Gets it away for Marquardt, then away from Peden. Peden away for Johns. Joey's over again. Johns is in again. 2 for the night. 26-0 the Knights.
Well, Andrew Johns has put the ball down, but gee, there was some great build-up work here, notably from Danny Badiris out of dummy half. Just the one marker, put the move on him, kept the legs pumping. Beat off a couple more defenders. He finds Andrew Johns, a select pass to the right-hand side to Julian Bailey. A poor attempt here from Chris Walker. Shrugged off. Now, wonderful hands here from Paul Marquardt as well to take this offload. Kept the ball alive. Feeding on to Johns. The step and gets the ball down right in front of the referee.
Oh, magnificent stuff. And this piece of play here from Andrew Johns. Look at him. He's trapped. He's got nowhere to go, but he keeps his cool. He goes, oh, well, I'll wander around, find somewhere to pass it to. He does that. He does it with ease, and it's a good run from Bailey. Ordinary defence once again from Chris Walker. And this offload is an absolute beauty. And then Marquardt, good hands, and Johns, he's got 4 in front of him, beats them all, bangs it down.
Well, this is just one of the examples that you might see in his CV as the world's #1 footballer. I think I mentioned that at the top of the telecast. There's a lot of the pundits queuing up to rank him as #1. 18 in, 18 out. This one he has landed. 28-0. Newcastle over Brisbane. Welcome back. Broncos in big trouble now. Paul Horton's words at the top of the second half. If they score first, the Knights, it could be anything. I can't quite believe that against the Broncos. Hughes combining with McDougall. McDougall taken down by Saylor. There's Peden. Yes, Pete?
All right, I do think it's a game that Newcastle probably had to win after losing 4 in a row. They come up against the Brisbane side with 10 players backing up from state duty. Only 5 days, less than a week from that game. Of course, the emotion surrounding this man back into the side and Robbie Davis, all the ingredients were there. They just had to come up with the performance, and they've done that. Johns, who tries to kick the football, tackle at the same time, over the sideline, Brisbane ball.
He grabs at his knee, too. Is he okay? Yeah.
In fact, did it come off a Brisbane play?
Or did the Brisbane player play at the ball? That's more important. It'll be a Brisbane feed. Watching Johns flexing that knee as Brisbane win the scrum. Come across to De Vere. Now for Saylor. And McDougall is right on him. If Saylor's the bus, then McDougall's the conductor. Everywhere Wendell goes, McDougall is on his hammer like a drover's dog. Now, Lockyer. Walker. He's had a nightmare of an evening in defence, Walker.
Look at Badiris over there again. It's really worked well, Danny Badiris, a roving roll out wide, playing with Rudder or Johns. Been able to stifle that wide attacking play from the Broncos. Last tackle now.
Parker. Prince inside the 40. Lockyer across to Webb. I noticed that Myers is back there. Webb got away from Hughes. Now he loses the ball legitimately. And it's turnover time.
Return 6 to Newcastle, number 10, Danny Parsons. Return 7, number 8, Glenn Grief.
Big Carl Webb. Nothing wrong with that. It wasn't stripped. Wonderful crowd here.
And Ausleague.com, your rugby league headquarters on the internet.
Don't know that there's too many vacant seats. Now, a break made by Grief. Here comes Bailey. Oh, he's run away from Bailey. Johns kicks, looking for Albert. Oh, Albert puts a hand on the ball, but he knocked on.
Yeah, lovely kick, and Glenn Grief. It was a big run, wasn't it, from the stocky prop? He'd beaten 4 of them. He says, why not beat Lockie? I can beat him too. He had Bailey screaming for the footy on the outside. They had him cover the pace, Bailey, and then Joey Johns, little kick for Albert, gets to it. Another bomb try. That's the second one tonight. The Knights have bombed with the line wide open.
7 changes for Newcastle, 8 for Brisbane. Prince, Parker. Back on his own 40-metre line. Harrison now. Grief and Parsons. Parsons with a flop over the top. Corvo. You can hear the roar, you can hear the chant going up. Newcastle. And that kick bounces at right angles, so it'll be a scrum with Newcastle's loosened feed. Andrew.
Yeah, Fatty was talking, Ray, about Glenn Grief. It comes in a week, his form tonight, a week when he's basically been told there won't be a contract for him here next year. He's free to negotiate. So Glenn Grief is on the open market right now. He's the player that Mal really used to call the little rhinoceros, and that's exactly what he was like on that previous run.
Back, down, let the hooker down.
He might have been a rhino, but I tell you what, I wish he had given it to Bailey.
Yeah, he thought he was a very fast rhinoceros at that point.
Thank you, thank you. Billy Peden. Matt Parsons. Parker hangs on underneath. Myers over the top. Badiris. Left they go for Grief. Johns rolling it in behind Saylor. He's just standing out in the front with the baton. It's my night. I'm conducting what's happening here. You had your turn at ANZ.
And if anybody thought that he would not be ready for a test match with just 1 run under his belt, I hope they've sat back and watched his performance tonight. I'm of the belief that his early season form and his standing in the game justifies selection in the test side with just this game. And I'm pretty sure that that's the way it'll be.
And at halfback, Pete.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
no doubt.
not at hooker.
No doubt.
Lockyer. De Vere. Peden and Rudder shutting down the centre. Myers. Harrison again. Sivanasiva. I don't think I've called him as much as you normally would in a Broncos game.
No, he hasn't had a lot of game time tonight, Ray. He left the field fairly early on, and I'm not sure whether he's just carrying something or a bit of fatigue there after a heavy schedule of late as Johns takes the intercept, finds Hughes on his outside, taken by De Vere. But yeah, he hasn't been out there that much tonight, Petro.
McDougall. O'Davis. Taken by Prince. McDougall again. Good tackle over there by Chris Walker. Johns. Outside ball for Bailey. Peden. Simpson. There's the line. This is the last. Johns looking for Rudder. Finding Hughes. Mark Hughes gets the try.
They're checking onside, DC.
Well, he's going to check the onside, Paul Simpkins, but I don't think there's any dramas with the number 4 and the other man involved. A select kick. I thought he had a very, very good State of Origin series, Mark Hughes at fullback. No, the Chasers are onside. With a cross, difficult bounce for Brisbane. And straight into the arms of Mark Hughes. Well constructed, well executed, and well finished. The woes continue for the Brisbane coach.
Well, there's not much he can do up there at the moment, Wayne Bennett. Once again, his Brisbane Broncos team, and it's been something that's happened as the green light goes up, that over the years, State of Origin blues for the Broncos. Their success rate during and after State of Origin is never very good, and it's continued here tonight. At the moment, 32-0 is being flogged. And look at this, it's just a different sort of kick once again, not end on end, as most halfbacks would try and do in this area. A little wonky kick with a bounce on the end of it that proved very hard for Brisbane to take. Not so for Mark Hughes on the charge.
Just backing up your statement there, Paul, as mentioned earlier, if Brisbane lose this game tonight, they will not have won a match after a State of Origin game this year.
Johns converting the try, scored by Hughes, laid on by Johns. 34-0, we'll take a break. 1 hour gone in the game. 34-0. And it is line dropout time. I suppose there's got to be some little blemish somewhere on a performance like this. They've gone for the shallow restart. The bat down has come off. O'Davis. Well, there's more than one way to skin the cat. Albert. Down on the 30-metre line. 9 changes now for the Broncos, 8 for Newcastle. Simpson ridden down by Parker, Johns, Bailey, Albert. Takiri knocking it down, backwards of course, then running across to link up, this time with De Vere, Carlaw. Sailor. Talking to the South Sydney Bunnies, they play the Umina Bunnies tomorrow at North Power. So if you want to wish the red and greens well, you've got a chance to do that tomorrow. Just outside the 30-metre line for Sivanasiva. Myers. Prince. Webb. Lockyer drifting for Carlaw. That's the turnover. So it would seem that they lost the count or didn't hear the count because they didn't really try to do too much. Now Newcastle gets a penalty. Boomer of a crowd here. And when I say that, you've got to understand that at Marathon there is a safety limit, and they've reached that limit tonight. I would fancy 22,896. Five, 3 the penalties to Brisbane. Grief.
If Newcastle do get the points, as we see the interchange situation, there'll be some movers this weekend. Of course, Parramatta an opportunity to go 3 points clear at the top of the table if they get over the Warriors. The Bulldogs could move into second spot, outright second, if they have a victory. There's another penalty against Brisbane for grabbing the leg in the tackle. And with this game tonight, Newcastle, they would move to 23 and getting away from the chasers who were starting to close.
Johns for the line. Simpson. Johns cuts out Kennedy, finds Rudder. The line. The line. Kennedy for Keegan. McDougall has a dig. Forced back. Nothing doing. Medeiros. Johns. Beautiful ball for Hughes. Likewise for O'Davis. There's trouble again for the Broncos. Albert is over. Touch judge call. No, they're going to the video referee.
Well, if it is